Hey, what's going on, guys? I am Shane from Hobby Homies. Today we are going to be looking at the Wartide faction Empira. It's intro deck and the first 3 expansions of Season 1 of Wartide. So Wartide is a extendable card game created by Lachlan down here in Melbourne. He has been a friend of mine for a long time. This isn't a sponsored video by any means. I did pay for all this stuff. It was a Kickstarter that I backed I'm going to say a year ago, which fully funded and delivered, and it's delivered quite an incredible product. So let's take a look at Empira, which is the militaristic, not industrial revolution, but very industrialized faction, similar to World War II of our timeline, I guess. Now these packs are incredibly glossy, as you can see there, but they are really nicely done. There's a bit of story on the back. The website Wartide card game, wartidecardgame.com has all the stories and stuff like that on there. So let's just rip into it, shall we? So they're very tight to start with. There we go. Defend the homeland. If you see me just glancing to my right consistently, that's because that's where the monitor is, and I didn't think to put it in a better location. So apologies, and I also have a small camera above that I can sort of look at. So here we are. So here's the Learn to Play guide. Nice little stitched book, excuse me. Yeah, so that's got your, geez, I made a mess already. How long has it been? 2 minutes. Here we are. So that's got the what is Wartide and how to win, which is something that you sort of need to know, right? And pretty early on, like that's what you want to know. Explains everything, what all the icons mean, damage, range, movement. I'm going to do my best so you guys can see this, but I believe the website also has like a lot of the, how to play guides and stuff like that. Bit of a setup. Sorry, I've got so many lights in here it's blinding. But yeah, so the resources there as well. So let's put that aside and let's take a look at the cards, shall we? Because that's probably what you're here for. Maybe you've scoped this out at one of your local hobby shops and you're interested. So we've done some episodes on Wartide on our podcast. We've also done a battle report, I guess, on this channel. So check that out. I'll put a link in the description. But yeah, so this is your home base, your field base. It generates resources for you each turn. Each faction are asymmetric, so they all play in their own sort of unique style, which is really cool. But they share similar things like resource generation that you have to track with pen and paper or tokens or however you wish. Some of the lore on these cards are awesome. I won't stop and read every single one of them, but there's some really cool stuff in here. So and the website also has a list of like what you actually get in the deck, and how many of them, which is I imagine is probably important to know. I'm not really a card game player. Sorry, I need to try and keep my hands in the right position. So card games are still kind of new to me, especially like this kind of style. Like it's a bit different than playing Pokemon in the playground when you're a kid. But yeah, so the artwork is phenomenal, and each artist is credited on the bottom of the card, as they are. And yeah, this game was sort of a passion project that Lachlan had for years and years, and he would work on it, and then he'd get fed up, and he'd kick it under the bed, and it would stay under there for 6 months, and then he'd have just a spur of an idea and pull it out again and continue to work on it. So it's so awesome to see that this has sort of come to life, yeah. But yeah, there's some really cool art in here. I am kind of just flipping through because we have got a lot of cards to look at today in this particular faction focus. This is one of my favorite cards. It's got that classic like pin-up style, like what is it? Uncle Sam wants you to join the army kind of thing, yeah, it's just awesome. And yeah, this is a really cool example of the art where it's got like that's one of the other factions there. Those big giant tentacles. They are that's the Null. That's another faction that you can play. So there's 3 factions at the moment. Empira being one of the first. Actually, sorry, there's 4. I believe you can do a factionless or a sort of someone that doesn't take any sides, like outsiders, I believe they're called. But we'll look into those later on. Command posts, so different buildings that you sort of build to generate different resources. And the tank yard. Very cool. Very cool. Lots of them. And bonus cards. So that's what we had just there was the main deck. And then these you can, I guess if you lose cards or if you want to change it up a little bit, you've got more draft soldiers. If you want to just go for that Soviet wall of flesh kind of play style, extra command posts, tank yards, and field bases. So yeah, that's the intro deck, the main deck, what you'll need to play. And then let's move on to the first expansion. So straight away, the art on the first expansion is awesome. It's like a little bulldog with some lit sticks of dynamite in his mouth with a little sort of combat jacket on. It's just awesome. Fortify the trenches, this one's called. Artillery booms from behind the fortified lines, defended by the lead storm of machine gun nests. Nothing will break through. This box contains an expansion pack for the Empira faction. This pack is for customization of existing decks and does not contain cards to play alone. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure most people know what an expansion is, whether it's a video game or a card game. So this is to add some more cards to your deck. I have to say, I love the boxes. They came out really, really nice. Here he is, Sergeant Chunky, the cover man himself. Yeah, that's awesome. Who's a good boy? You are. Now drop it. Drop it. It's just some of the fluff text on the cards. Yeah, there's some really awesome cards in here. Defiant. So there's reactions, there's event cards, all kinds of stuff, and different and different units that you can deploy. Yeah, howitzer artillery. So these have a range of 5 damage, which is pretty cool. Machine gun nests. Very cool. Radio jamming. So your reactions that you can do to target unit cannot be activated until its controller's next turn. That's kind of cool. So you can just stop someone's unit from activating for a turn. Command post, more bases, more tank yards, and a recruitment center. So this will generate troops and industry. And the resource costs are up in the top right hand corner. So that's 5 of anything. So it can be 5 gold, 5 infantry, 5 industry. So however you want to spend it. And yeah, plenty of them. Trench soldiers. The rovers, vehicles. Some vehicles do some cool things. They can move troops up without taking fire. And more drafting cards. So that's the first expansion there. That is the Fortify the Trenches expansion. Number 2, infantry support. Yep, there we are. So this is the second expansion. So the first 2 expansions came out with the first launch, and Lachlan actually just dropped off the 3rd expansion yesterday. No, day before, Friday. Today is Sunday. Doesn't feel like a Sunday. Here we are, Lieutenant Harry Church. So yep, again, I think some Patreon backers were able to get custom cards if they had have backed the right tier, which is, sorry I said Patreon, I mean Kickstarter backers, which is really cool, you know, like you get yourself immortalized into a card, which is pretty awesome. Mortar Soldier, yeah, so there's, the game is a lot of fun. It's, oh my god, that's terrible. Sorry, let's start again. There we are. So Lieutenant Harry Church. So some Kickstarter backers were able to get themselves immortalized in a card form by backing the right tier, which is pretty cool. So I'm sure Harry's pretty chuffed of his artwork there. That's awesome. It looks like he's got like a double barrel shotgun or something. You know, like an over and under shotgun. That's pretty cool. Mortar soldier. An anti-tank soldier. Far out. He is kitted. Jeez. That's awesome. Apologies for the glare. I'm doing my best to hold these in the right spot that you guys can see. Light machine gunner. Oh, nice. Some equipment. That's something you can do too. Is you can give your troops equipment to add extra. This adds extra damage, as an example. It has resupply costs and stuff like that. If you happen to drop it on the field, someone else can come pick it up when you die, which is kind of cool. Transvoid radio. That's really cool. I like that. Sorry, I'm trying to hold these in a way. Expand the trenches at a field under your control to an empty location next to a field you control. That's pretty cool. There are some factions that can just destroy fields, entire sections just evaporated. Empira Sigil. So yeah, search your deck for a card kind of thing. And confounding trenches. Nice. Again, the artwork is just amazing. Tank traps. Barracks field base. So yeah, War Factory field base. Nice. So there's more draft soldiers. I'd love to see a deck, but it's just nothing but draft soldiers. That's I don't know how that would play. I've played a few games. Empira was a lot of fun, but it's like all those card games where sometimes your starting hand is huge, right? The time that I played the Empira, I started off with a whole bunch of really expensive tanks, and I just couldn't get them on the table, and I ended up getting. It was a slog, but I ended up losing to Fox, I believe. I think he was playing the Kagawa. Geez, this one's in there. There we go. Cool. All right. Here we are. So the armor rollout. Okay. Yeah. This is where it's at. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at some awesome tanks, shall we? There we are. Tank Captain Athena Adams. So she's up there riding on that tank. Looks like a flamethrower tank. That's very cool. What else have we got? So we've got a few of her. Some APCs. Nice. More transport. Being able to get your troops up the field before they get blown to pieces. Victorian light tank. That's cool. Look at that. That's just blitzing. That's awesome. So many of those. McDonald flame tank. Whew. Yeah, nice. That's pretty cool. Bolting Mark II infantry tank. Oh yeah, okay. So there might be an upgrade to the first tank in the core set. Harrington airborne tank. Nice. Oop, bit of glare on that one. Sorry. There we go. High explosive shells. Nice. Blowing up the null tentacles there. New line of attack. Mysterious letter. Increase your void count by 1. Interesting. Razor wire. Nice. Very cool. Yeah, so the art's awesome. Battlefield Field Hospital. More tank yards. American Exile. Oh, these are some outsiders. Okay, I didn't expect them to be in here. Yeah, so this is I was not expecting these. Yeah, awesome. Very cool. The Sun Queen Exile. So Yeah, the Outsiders are a whole nother faction. All right, awesome. So that was a quick look through the Empira faction for Wartide and its first 3 expansions. Some really, really awesome art. I can't stress that enough. The art on these cards is fantastic, and the game is a lot of fun too. So check it out. You can find a link in the description for wartidecardgame.com, and there's places you can buy it in Australia at the moment, like the Gaming Arena and a few other shops scattered around. So yeah, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.
Big up to the boys, Fox and Shane. Set your minds free, no locks and chains. Do what you love, roll the dice. 50-50, we cold as ice. One thing cold, but a penny town.